there's no point of doing down back 4 if they're going to just get up and block it every time. So there has to be an option for that. So if they try to get up from his 1+3 throw, his down back 2 will actually catch them, and then you could transition into SC, and then do SC1, which is guaranteed. They can't block that while they're trying to turn around after getting hit by his down back 2. As you can see there, good damage. You already get his grab, you get his down back 2 damage, and then his SC1 does another like 32 damage on top of that. So it's already like two grabs in one. So it's good damage after that. After his 1+2 throws, he doesn't really get very much OP. It leaves him a little too far. One thing I like to do is just to make up for it is just dash in. Like I said, DE right in their face, and then stay close to them. I mean, they could get up right away, they could block whatever option afterwards. There's no real catches for that, so all you can do is really get them to stand up and block a mix-up. Also, after his Shining Wizard grab, or his
is that what people refer to as?
Yeah, they refer to as still the Shining Wizard. DE 2+3 or running 2+4. Again, like his other 1+2 grab, it doesn't really leave them close enough for any OP options. So, like I said, use his DE to cover distance and stay in their face.
Alright, so you mentioned something about hitting grounded, so let's just cover a couple of his moves to hit grounded really fast.
Alright, so Lars doesn't really have very many moves that hit grounded. He has a down 3 that hits grounded, down back 4. Down 3 is -14, so keep that in mind to try to get up and block it. He also has a stomp, his own unique stomp. Like I said, you could hold it, have a little cool pose. He could do that.
That sounds like a good way to end a round.
Yeah, it's a nice way to end a round after you beat him. Down back 1 also hits grounded. That's nice. It's not very much damage. His highest damage is down 3+4. But one unique thing that Lars does have, a couple characters have it, but Lars has it as well, is that if they're at the wall and they stayed grounded, if Lars does a down 3-1, it'll actually pick them up for a little combo hit.
And that's only at the wall.
Only at the wall. And after the down 1 hits, the 1 picks up and it still follows up for a combo. And other than that, he doesn't really have any mids that hit grounded, so all his options are only lows. So, if you're staying down trying to bait a Lars player to hit you, you could try to just, anticipate it, get up and block low. But always keep in mind, Lars players can, think ahead, they're not stupid, and do a mid and wall splash you.
I don't know, there's a lot of Lars players out there.
Yeah.
Odds are kind of high.
Stop playing.
Alright. So I think we covered most of Lars. We covered his punishers, his basic moves, his Oki, his special throws, his bind moves, his launchers, his combos, his dances, his home moves, his crush moves, etc. So let's talk a little bit about how to beat Lars. Alright, so this part's probably going to be my favorite part of the show. We're going to talk about how to beat this character. This is Lars. Let's talk about how to beat him.
Alright, so basically, like I said earlier, Lars has a couple of homing moves, back 1, back 1+2. Back 1+2 being unsafe, it's not really going to throw that out too much other than really anticipating a throw, a step. He has down back 2-1 as well, which the second hit only hits when you're stepping. So let's look at the damages. Back 1 does 19 damage, so it's pretty decent, but if you're going to try to kill someone with just back 1 all day, you're going to have to do like 10 of these.
In a round, right?
Yeah, in a round. And down back 2-1, the second hit only does 9 damage, and that's the only part that tracks. So you're going to have to do a bunch of those as well to try to kill someone as well. So basically, everything else that Lars has is pretty steppable. His biggest mix-ups is going to be obviously 4-4, 4-3, and 4-4-2 to mix you up. Both of these are easily side steppable and side walkable to your right. So we'll have that demonstrated here. I'll do a jab and then I'll have Al sidestep right. As you can see here, while I'm doing 4-4, 4-3, you get all the way to my back, so I'm really vulnerable to anything you want to do here. You can get a back throw, a launcher, or anything you want. Same with 4-4-2. You step all the way to my back again. So whenever you're anticipating a Lars player to go for these big damage mix-ups, you could kind of eliminate the mix-up by sidestepping right.
And we wanted sidewalk, right? Not sidestep. There's a distinction.
There's a slight distinction, yes.
Do it again.
Reset here. Yeah, so even with a sidestep, you still avoid both hits, and then you don't even have to block the second hit; it'll just still whip past you. Same with 442. Yeah, as you can see here, you'll get to his side. If you side walk, you'll get to his back. So those are a good way to avoid those big mix-ups. He can't really use a forward 4 as well as his track because it doesn't really track either. Yeah, you'll also get to my back. So a lot of his moves don't track very well other than the ones that I mentioned earlier. So a good thing to do is, like, let's say Lars is low on life. I need to make a huge comeback. What else am I going to do other than, like, try to go for my big damage stuff? You know, just step it. I'm not really going to go for a pretty guy that I hit like 5 back ones when I'm low on life, because it's a lot of work.
Although maybe you should.
I should, but it's most likely that Lars players aren't going to do that.
Right, and what about his down 4-2? That's steppable as well?
I
mean, I know it's only on counter that's going to get a juggle, but
I mean, if it could get you to stop stepping to his weaker side, obviously I would keep using it, but you know, it's not really reliable either. Simple side step, as you saw here, got all the way to my back as well, so...
So it looks like going to your right against Lars is pretty helpful against his big mix-ups and his big damage.
I mean, you can keep taking back one all day and then you avoid one of these. He's eventually probably going to go low. You step one of those, get to his back, you know, big damage.
Okay, and let's talk about a 4-3, because I know that, you know, there's plenty of Lars players out there
that are abusing this move.
Right, and, you know, there's a good reason to abuse it, right? I mean, it crushes lows, highs, and some mids. You know, it's pretty much Shoryuken, that's what we called it, basically.
Alright, so basically, you have 12 frames to hit him out of the air, and then you'll still get a floater. Yeah, as you can see here, you could jab him out of the air, and you can still get a combo. Or if you do something slightly slower, you don't have to wait. Just do the move that's slightly slower, and then you can still launch him. As seen here. You know, at least those down 4-2, 16 frames. You know, at least those back 3+4 is 19 frames, 20 frames, something like that. We'll show that here. You know, it's minus 21, so, you know, just try to find your best Punisher for 21 and then try to punish it accordingly.
Right. I mean, and the problem with the move, though, is that so many people just get hit by it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that a lot of Lars players are looking to hit it on me, so I kind of press them with a lot of jabs. I like to do that anyway, and so I'm kind of baiting them to throw out the move, and then finally when they throw it out, I get my launcher, you know?
Yeah, so you could, I mean, eventually if you keep pressuring a Lars player, and if they get desperate, they're obviously going to throw out up 4-3, so sometimes you can kind of bait it out by, you know, oh look, I'm doing some highs here, high here. So it's like a Lars player is always going to think, oh, those are all opportunities I could go under.
Yeah.
So obviously, okay, this time he's going to go high again. Nope, they dash forward, they just block and get a launcher. So use that very sparingly, but against Lars, try to bait that out if you could. What else?
He's got, some people use the 2-1-3, 2-1-4.
Yes. 2-1, you know, like I said earlier, Lars has a good 2-1 poke. The thing you have to keep in mind, though, is that he has follows for these. 2-1-4 being a high, but it tracks both ways, so if you try to step away from 2-1-4, it'll hit you. And it'll also hit you if you try to retaliate as well. So can't really retaliate against it, but you can duck it. So what does he have if you duck? He has a 2-1-3, which is a mid, though it is minus 12. Keep that in mind, minus 12, so you could, you know, find your best 12-frame Punisher to punish him with. But keep in mind, against the wall, you might not want to do anything after 2-1, because 4 will wall splat, and we'll show it here. The 4 will wall splat, and the same thing with the 3. So, you know, your best bet after a 2-1 at the wall is probably just block. Hopefully he does 3 and you block it and then you punish it correctly. Or, you know, if you really anticipated the high, you could try to duck it and launch him. But, oh yeah, and also keep in mind that 2-1-3 is steppable.
Yeah, but with the wall, you don't want to try it because the 2-1-4 might just come out of wall splat you.
So also with weird angles, you probably can't even step very far anyway.
Like, let's say, like right here, I'm pretty much covering her right side, so she can't step since I'm already on her left axis, on my left axis to her. So, you know, obviously she's not going to be able to step at this axis.
I couldn't go that way, but I can go the other way. Couldn't go either way.
Yeah, so basically, if you're really psychic, if you can know between a mid and a high, and if you're willing to risk half your life bar against the wall, I mean, I guess you could go for it, but the best bet is just to block.